everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
And today's topic comes from Dukeloop's 1993. Vince, Duke wants us to talk about PG-13 animated movies from DC and from Marvel.
Cool.
So that's what we're going to talk about.
Have you seen any Marvel ones?
I haven't seen any Marvel ones, actually, I hate to say. I've seen a lot of the DC ones, but, I mean, I know Marvel. Thing is, DC's had, like, this line of them, where, like, every few months they put one out. And Marvel's have been sporadic. I'm not sure they even have a line. I think it's just, every now and again, a movie comes out, and I'll see it at the store, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is, but I haven't watched any of them.
I think Dukeloop's mentioned that, that Hulk vs. Wolverine and Hulk vs. Thor was PG-13, and that it seemed like they just used profanity for no reason.
Kind of like some of the DC ones have done.
Yeah. Granted, it seemed like I didn't see it, and when I saw the title, I kind of figured it was just going to be Wolverine and Hulk beating each other up, so I didn't bother to watch it.
I don't know. I watched that for maybe a few minutes, you know.
It's really cool.
So we're mostly going to talk about the DC ones, but this is an issue on both sides from what I've heard, and I know from first-hand experience that it is on DC, they'll make a PG-13 movie, and they'll make it PG-13 just because, I'm assuming, because they want a certain target audience to buy it. So they're like, we're making this for adults, and so we want adults to buy it. That's our target audience right now, because they're the ones who grew up with Batman TAS, Superman, Justice League, and stuff, and so, you know, they'll buy it if we try to make it seem more serious by putting a PG-13 rating on it. It ends up being less of a rating and more of a label, and that's where the issues really start to play.
This reminds me of one of our other GNNs.
Oh, really?
The one that we talk about, are we tired of the different incarnations of the same character?
I think we just did that last week, actually, yeah.
And the point is, when they try to shoot for that PG-13 rating, they make something crappy because they're looking for that target audience.
Yeah, and that becomes the focus. It's less about telling a story and more about, you know, trying to get specific people to watch their stuff. That's irritating to me. And so here's the thing. I think that if you make a movie that warrants PG-13, by all means, there's no reason not to release it. I'm not saying don't release an animated superhero picture just because it's PG-13. I think certain properties would be pushing it for R, at least in DC and stuff. You know, unless you wanted to make like a Max movie or something. I don't know, over on the Marvel side. But I digress. I'm just saying that, like, you know, if you, for instance, I think they're gonna try to make Year One. It's probably gonna be a PG-13.
I'd say it'd have to be. I mean, considering that Catwoman was implied to be a prostitute, she's sort of a woman of the night, if you will. I think they have to.
It's Frank Miller, so.
Yeah, all of his women are prostitutes, just like he likes them.
Anyway, now, actually, let me go back a minute and rephrase something I said. I said that probably will be a PG-13. No, it will be a PG-13 movie. They all are. But the point is, that one would probably have to be without forcing it. So don't force it.
You make a movie, and you make a movie to make the movie, and the chips fall where they may. If it gets rated R and you don't want it to be rated R, cut some stuff out, make it PG-13, whatever.
Do whatever you need to do. If that's gonna, I would understand trying to get the rating changed if it was gonna kill your sales. You know, that's a little bit different. But just going, you know, we want to be edgy and different and dark, because dark is the most important thing ever.
I mean, it's like DC's looking at... It's almost like what happened with DC and Marvel back in the day. DC was trying to keep up with Marvel, saying, well, Marvel's doing this right now. We need to do that too. Well, right. Marvel has a lot of red in their covers. We need to put a lot of red in our covers too. And then Marvel would change it up and still outsell DC. Right. I don't think that's necessarily what's going on right now.
No, I think we're seeing a bit of a swing back on that.
But DC looked at Marvel's dark stuff, I think, and thought, well, people really like dark. Let's do that. And I don't necessarily mean Dark Avengers, because this, I think, predates Dark Avengers.
It predates it by years, yeah. The first one that DC did, and we're talking about Bruce Timm's team, the DC animated movie, I forget what they call it, but they got, like, DC Universe animated movie, I think Direct may be in there somewhere, I don't remember. But anyway, there's a banner over all of these, and and it's a line. It's not a continuity, but it's a line that's being put out all the time. And
I think it's DG-13.
And they put out, you know, 2 or 3 of these things a year, and the first one was Superman Doomsday, and I think that was really that's really the worst example, or the best example of the worst of this, because they do stuff like you know, Perry White's got to drink some alcohol. You know, various characters have to throw around the D word, ooh, the D word, you know, and things like that. And so, like,
detective,
they're just, yeah, I know. You can't say that on our channel. But so what happens is, it isn't that they make a movie that has to be PG-13. It's just they throw stuff in there so they can get that rating. And Superman Doomsday, this is something that you could make in such a way where it would have to be PG-13 without just throwing stuff in that don't fit just to get that rating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the fight wasn't especially violent. I mean, you know, I'm not saying it necessarily should have been, but I'm just saying, like, the main stuff in the thing, there were places that were just corny to me that were almost dumbed down and kidified, and I was just like, you know, you're making a movie that really ought to be more for adults, and you're making us buy it because we think it's going to be more for adults, and it's not.
Yeah. I mean, you said it before, and I completely agree. You make something for adults, and kids will follow suit, you know, essentially.
That's it. You make something, and see, this is the thing. You got Bruce Timm spearheading this stuff, and he is the master at making things that will be better understood for adults, or by adults, but are directed to kids, or at least, you know, kids are encouraged to watch. And, I mean, that's what Batman the Animated Series was. So what you do is, you make stuff that kids can watch, that they won't understand until they're older, and then they'll go back and be able to fully appreciate it later. This is how we make our brains grow.
It's Miracle Grow for the brain.
Right. You know, Batman the Animated Series, Miracle Grow for your brain.
It's good stuff. You should try it. Stick it right in. Hit the pump. Anyway. One thing that we've always been taught is you write something for a smart audience. You write something that an audience needs to be smart to understand. And that's not necessarily... I get angry when I talk about that because it seems so obvious to me. You should write something, you should try to make it good. You shouldn't try to say, well, my audience isn't going to get it because I'm obviously smarter than they are.
We have to dumb it down because everyone watching this are obviously going to be idiots. You know, I mean, we might be pushing some buttons by saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. You do that long enough, and everyone's going to be that way. Your whole audience turns out to be dumb, or you know, more dumbed down because all they ever see are things that are dumbed down. No. You set a bar, and then you know, why is it a problem to put something in something that somebody might have to go research? You know what I mean? I don't know that word. I'll go look it up in the dictionary. I'll go look it up on Wikipedia. Look, it's easier to look crap up than it ever has been. Let's not dumb things down. Let's assume that people are smart enough to at least look up stuff they don't understand, you know?
Yeah, I think that's this PG-13 thing. They're essentially putting in the adult dumb. They're putting in stuff that's based on... I mean, this isn't PG-13, but look at Superhero Squad. It's a string of fart jokes. It's not funny. It's not by any means intelligent or compelling. And I think that's...
But they know it'll sell because of that.
I think it's in the same line as, oh, he's drinking. Mm-hmm. That makes him cool.
Yeah. Well, we're all out of time. What do you think about this? Does the PG-13 thing bother you? Do you think that what they're doing really requires that, or that they're just throwing stuff in there? Let us know what you think. Also, if you have an idea for us to do a video later on, leave that in the comments below as well. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince.
And next time we'll try to say at least 5 words that you've never heard of that you'll have to look up. Thanks a lot for watching, Geeks and Nerds. We'll see you next time.